Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you've come to the right place and we're so happy to have you here today. It also happens to be Terrifying Tuesday on this channel where we talk about all things horror. And today we have to talk about Scream 7. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Leslie Mocker rumor. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so Scream 7 started off kind of weird in terms of what they were announcing, in terms of everything they were telling us, because they instantaneously told us that Stu Macher is back. They also told us that Roman Bridger is back, and then we heard that Dewey is back. So if all of this is true, then these are three people that died in the previous entries. So why would they bring all these people back? And that kind of became the narrative. People have been talking about this possibility that Stu Macher is alive. Could Stu Macher, in fact, be alive and be the person behind everything? Could we actually be getting the Ghostface cult that has been rumored for so long? Could we be getting that, or could it be something else? Well, it is the something else that we're going to talk about today, because one rumor that has persisted is that it is going to be Leslie Mocker. And you might be asking, why Leslie Mocker? Because Leslie Mocker was the mother of Vince Snyder, a victim in the 2022 Woodsboro murders seen in the Scream 2022 film. Now, normally this would mean nothing, except that Scream has this habit of bringing back parents or family that are mad at Sidney Prescott. And if Sidney Prescott is indeed the one that they're after, then it's got to have a connection to her. And Stu Macher could possibly be alive and waited this long, but let's say for the sake of this one that he isn't. How could it be someone else? Well, you look at a couple different things. I think that there might be 3 killers in this movie. And the reason I say this is that if we look at the way they brought back 3 different people, I don't think that Dewey, Roman, and Stu are going to be our killers. I think that it's very possible that the killer or killers are using them. So these 3 different killers are using a persona in AI of these particular characters. That's my thoughts, but more specifically, I think that one of them is, in fact, going to be Leslie Mocker. So, let's look at how this rumor could work. If this actually does happen, then how could she do all of this? Well, someone has to have the AI technology and has to be helping her, which is not uncommon because we saw Billy Loomis's mom actually go online and get someone who wanted to help her and wanted to do it for the thing. We actually saw that happen. And then Roman Bridger was supposed to have someone who worked with him, but that scene got cut and we actually never got another Ghostface reveal there. So that was the only Ghostface movie with only one Ghostface. Every other movie had 2. But since they are bringing back these 3 dead people, and we know that Leslie Mocker's son died because of this unrelated event to Sidney, when you look at the 2022 film, you notice that basically Sidney Prescott wasn't involved. It was an entirely different thing, but they were copycat killers of the original stuff. And with that, you know that Leslie Mocker might in fact still blame Sidney Prescott for everything that happened in 2022. If Sidney Prescott hadn't killed her brother and all the events hadn't played out in the original Scream film the way they did, then things would not go down like they went for her son. Now, typically someone's not going to blame somebody for an unrelated thing. However, it does happen. People's minds snap in their grief and whatever. And in this case, Leslie Mocker has snapped. So she comes back and she changes her name. With Anna Camp playing this part of Sidney Prescott's neighbor, the character that is rumored to be Leslie Mocker, how would Cindy not recognize her? Well, it could in fact just be the years. Maybe Cindy didn't know the sister that well. That's still possible. Maybe, in fact, it's been plastic surgery, whatever happened, they'll explain away. But there are a couple things that people noted about this character possibly being the killer. And that is that Ghostface states that they don't want to harm Cindy's daughter until she's there to see it. Now, this kind of brings us back to her son getting killed in the 2022 movie. That kind of brings us back to that, because why would they be so adamant about kidnapping her daughter, making sure Cindy Prescott is there to see the daughter die? Like, that is something that someone would say if they've just snapped. They want the person to see the other person get hurt. And that's kind of it here. I think that this could be a true rumor, but who knows? Basically, Ghostface is never just one person. Now, it would be weird if in this case it was just Leslie Mocker, or it would be weird if Leslie Mocker knew that Stu was alive, and Stu is also alive in this movie. Maybe, possibly, but let's look at it this way. They have brought back these three characters, and because they brought back these three characters, it makes sense that maybe, just maybe, all the killers are using one of these people as their avatar, if you will, as the sort of voice that they're using to talk to Cindy when they want to taunt her. And I think that would be a lot of fun, because even though Cindy's daughter is front and center in this movie, and it's sort of passing the torch maybe to her and her friends, it still doesn't completely have to be just that. And it doesn't seem like it's going to be. They said that Cindy Prescott is going to be the main character in this movie again, that it's going to be very Cindy focused. And you have to look at things that would sort of make her the focal point for the killer. And I can't think of a better one than Leslie Mocker coming back for revenge, because basically Scream has always played into that. It's always played into that. Billy Loomis had his revenge. Billy's mom had her revenge. And then Roman Bridger had his revenge. And then you kind of went off into sort of this other direction a little bit, but it was still very Cindy focused in Scream 4. Scream 5 rebooted it and sort of made it like they were just doing this requel thing. But it was still about this sort of crazy motive. And then you had Scream 6. And Scream 6 just kind of went into that same direction, with the motive being completely about revenge. And now they're focusing on Cindy Prescott again. It only makes sense that the motive is about getting revenge on Cindy Prescott. So that's why this rumor makes a lot of sense. And why I'm continuously thinking that maybe this rumor could have more truth to it than we know. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but that is where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking about this. Do you think that this could be a case of us having 3 different people in the roles of Ghostface, just using the other characters as their avatars? Do you think that Leslie Mocker is somehow involved? Do you still believe that Stu Mocker is alive? Whatever you are thinking, there's no wrong answer. Just remember to leave me that comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you're thinking. And then don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so that they could be a part of this crazy conversation as well. And then if you like positive content, you're going to want to hit that like button. Let the algorithm know that you like positive content on your YouTube feed. And then maybe if you hit that like button, that's exactly what will happen. You'll get more positive content. But if you like our channel, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell that's right next to it so you don't miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it, fandom is family.